angels online. The angels online. The angels online.
Good people, good people. Good people, good people. Good people, good people. Good people, good people. Woo-wee! Good people. What's going on, y'all? This is Angel with the Angels Online, and we are here for the Generation Desegregation Experience Part 3. But this time, we got something new for you. We got the generation of 2023 here in the building with us today. Ladies, what's up? Hey. Don't worry, y'all. They're going to be shy for right now, god dang it. They're going to be shy for right now, but that's it. That's all. So, we're going to discuss what we've been discussing. If you listen to part 1, if you listen to part 2, we're going to give you part 3, and we're going to talk about the now. We've talked about the then from 92, 93, 97, 95, 2005, 2004, 2014. Now we're going to give you 2023, and we're going to discuss the issues that they are facing today and give these young ladies a voice and let people understand what they are looking for, what they are expecting, their expectations as young black students in the desegregation program in the Rockwood School District.
Yep. Yes.
Right, the Rockwood School District. Now, of course, you know, we're going to do an intro, everybody. We're going to start with this woman online. Right now, we might have other people join us on the Zoom call online, but we're going to start with this young lady online and her experience in the DSEG program real quick. Just, did she go to the DSEG program? Where did she go? Where she graduated college? Just a quick 20-second from this young lady online. Who we got here?
Hi, can y'all hear me?
We hear you.
Yes,
Wonderful.
real good.
Yeah, my name is Sydney Davidson. I went to LaSalle for my 7th and 8th grade year. I was not in the DSEG program. I lived in Eureka. I ended up going to high school at Cardinal Ritter. Then from there, I kind of did a world tour, a U.S. tour with my college, but I ended up graduating from Mizzou. And that's a little bit about me. I graduated in health science, and now I work in finance. And I live in Dallas now.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sydney, for being on the call with us. We're going to go with across from me. Who we got?
Hey, everyone. This is Ronika Moody. I graduated from Eureka class of 2005. I also attended Rockwood South and Utah Valley Elementary School. So, hold on. Was it Utah Valley?
You get old. Show your age. You got gray hair.
Utah.
You don't ever show your age. You don't remember.
I'm like, Utah Valley?
No.
Utah Elementary. Shush. I went to school for accounting. Ended up in finance. I've been doing finance for over a decade. I have my own consulting firm, career and business development. So if you need me, hit me up.
There it is. Angels Online, we will let you promote your greatness. Okay, that's what we do. Next to her, we got one of our newest people. Come on, young lady, talk to us.
I'm Mackenzie Watson. I currently go to Eureka, and I'm a junior, and I graduate 2024.
Come on.
I'm Kalia Ashwood. I currently go to Eureka. I'm a junior, and I graduate 2024.
Okay.
I'm Anaya Triplet. I am a junior, and I graduate in 2024.
Okay.
And I'm Kaylee Davis. I did not go to Eureka, or I was not part of the DSEG program. I went to Sodan High School in Ashland for elementary school. I went to Harrisdale State University for college. I'm currently a community support specialist helping the youth as a caseworker.
All right. Where did you get you're in school right now, right?
I am in school right now. I go to Lindenwood University, getting my master's in counseling with an emphasis in mental and clinical health.
Woo!
Okay.
All right. And y'all know I'm Angel. Okay, I'm just Angel. I'm just here to help. You got to give people what they want. I'm Angel. Class of 2005, Eureka Senior High School. Homecoming queen out here, track, basketball, a little bit of everything. Gotta let you know I choose success, dare advocate, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of dibby dabbing here and there. I choose, everything I choose. I was just here to help and give the people what they want. That's what I'm here to do. All right, that's enough about me. I don't care about me. My job is to give y'all the voice, the Angels Online, voice of the unheard. Amen. And we're going to talk right now because we're going to start with these young ladies because we have experiences that we've already discussed. Mm-hmm. Sydney has experience that she would like to discuss because it will relate to you. That the focus of the Angels Online is to let these youth know that you're not going through what you're going through by yourself. A lot of times the adults have been through that already. So this is not brand new. What we have now are more tools for you to be able to be more successful and more productive in a society. And we have more opportunities to give you a voice and discuss what you feel instead of holding it in. Whether it's mental health, whatever it is, we here to discuss it and we talk about it. The Angels Online is focused on personal experience, professional knowledge, and we are here to motivate, influence, and inspire. And as you can see, we are graduates of Eureka. We are graduates of Cardinal Ritter, Sodan. We are graduates, and we are all adults right here, and we have succeeded. Amen. The adversities that you are going through right now, understand we have been through them in different ways. There is no specific way to deal with an adversary. Life circumstances hit everybody in different ways. But regardless, life circumstances hit everybody. Amen. No matter what it is. COVID took everybody out. It didn't have a color to it. It didn't have a religion to it. It didn't have a sex to it. It didn't have a sexual preference to it. It didn't have anything to it. It took people out. Mm-hmm. Simple as that. So that's what we are here to discuss. That's what we are to let you know. My job is to give a voice to the unheard, and what it looks like to me is that you ladies have been unheard, and somebody more needs to hear your voice because your voice will travel not from just here, but from all over because somebody is scared to speak out there, and because you ladies took the courage to step up and voice your opinion, a lot of alumni heard you, and that's why you were here today. Somebody heard you. Okay, so I'm going to ask right now to, wait a minute. Y'all gave me 3 names, and y'all know I'm getting old. Mackenzie.
And you just called me old.
Mind your business. Mackenzie, how long have you been in the DSEG program, and have you always been in Rockwood?
I've been in the DSEG program since, I would say, like, kindergarten to 1st grade. Because I went to a city school for, like a year. Like 2 years, not that long.
Okay. And so so what middle school did you go to?
I went to I went to Wildwood Middle School.
Wildwood Middle School? So you've been in a DSEG since kindergarten? Mm-hmm. Okay, because you said kindergarten to 1st grade, so I'm trying to make sure I wasn't tripping. Because she just said I was getting old, so I'm going back. I'm making sure I ain't tripping. Okay, so you've been there since kindergarten. Where'd you go to elementary school at?
Fairway Elementary.
Fairway Elementary. Okay, awesome sauce. And then you're at Eureka High School right now?
Yes.
Kalia.
Okay. Mackenzie, Kalia, we're going to say these over now.
Right.
Because we're not going to play these girls. Mackenzie, Kalia, come on, guys, come on.
Okay, I've been going out in the Rockwood School District and been a part of the DSEG program since kindergarten. And I went to Geggy Elementary and LaSalle Springs Middle School. And now I'm at Eureka.
Okay.
I've also been a part of it since.
Wait a minute, tell us your name again.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Anaya.
I know you, Anaya. I remember that. Yeah. Anaya, talk to us.
I've been going since, in the program since kindergarten. I went to Fairway and then Wildwood, and now I'm at Eureka.
Okay. And up until now, Mackenzie, what's your experience been like?
So my freshman year was kind of rocky due to COVID. Then my sophomore year is when I joined the Love program and became a part of BSU.
But before that, because I don't want to confuse listeners, mm-hmm. Your experience in elementary and middle school, they were okay?
Yeah, then I'm not gonna say it was okay, but I didn't pay attention to it. I was young.
That's what I want to hear.
I'm not gonna say I didn't know. I didn't pay attention or anything like that, or I wouldn't speak up if I was. Like, I don't know anything. I don't remember much from then.
Thank you.
But as far as my high school experience, starting from my freshman year to now, my freshman year, like I said, COVID, it wasn't much going on.
Okay.
And then my sophomore year is when I joined the Love program, and I got asked to be joined the part of BSU.
What is that?
So,
Have you let people know what BSU and Love is?
BSU is the Black Student Union Group that we have at Eureka High School, and the Love program is with It's women empowering women,
Okay.
and we learn about like how to love ourselves,
Okay.
our roots, where we come from, how to empower other people, and how to be a young lady in today's world.
Come on, baby. Okay, I like that.
You trying to say?
Sydney, come on.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to multitask. I apologize. Can you repeat that? What my experience was? Is what you're asking me?
Oh no, I didn't. No, I would ask you. I asked her, but because I'm gonna get back to you. No, you're fine. You're fine. She was just explaining to us about the Love Program and the BSU, the Black Student Union that they have at Eureka High School now. And the Love Program was women empowering women, how to motivate people in society, how to help each other out, how to be stronger, and how to be a young woman in today's world. Right?
Yes.
Come on.
Okay, so in
Kalia.
Yeah. In elementary school, obviously I don't really remember much, but even if things did happen, I probably didn't understand it to a certain extent. But middle school, I remember certain things, but not enough to like really give my experience on it. But I do remember it getting like things started happening basically.
Escalating more, right?
Yeah, it started escalating. But at the time, I was not a person who would speak up or do things about it. I just kind of sit back and try to stay away from it. Then freshman year, it all went downhill. So many things happened freshman year for me personally. And then when we came back in person freshman year, that's when I went to our sponsors for the BSU group, who are now our sponsors. And I was like, there's something that needs to be happening. So we started the BSU. And then sophomore year is when I learned about the Love Project. And that's when I joined that group. And since then, we've had things happen, but we've been more on top of it a little bit, I'd say, with the groups that we started or are a part of now.
The
BSU and the Love Project.
Okay. Wonderful.
I say elementary school, I didn't really know what was like happening. Like I was ignorant about like as far as stuff racially, because I was like a child. But middle school, more things started happening. But I was like scared to speak up about it.
Okay.
Like I knew that it was going on and stuff, but I was like scared to speak up because I wanted to fit in.
Okay.
High school, that's when more stuff started happening, and that's when I like learned to speak up, and I like actually got the courage to talk about it and like confront the issue.
I'm just listening. Man, I'm just listening. Because one thing that I noticed is, so elementary, you don't really pay attention to. You don't know.
That's
right,
the thing.
Middle school, depending on whether it's your household, what you deal with in society, where you at, you know what I'm saying? That determines if you actually pay attention to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because middle school, you like, oh, we haven't, you know what I'm saying? You are 11, 12, 13, 14. You're still trying to figure it out. You're just having a good time. And you might not, if you're not being exposed to racism, if you're not being exposed to those type of conversations or anything, you won't pay attention to it. But you said, you know, in middle school, you y'all see it, but you don't really see it. You like, wait a minute, what's going on? But when you get to high school, you're like, okay, at this time, your brain is developing more. And you're seeing so much more. And then COVID hit. That was just that's down the street, around the corner. That just happened. Because kids right now are still behind in school because of COVID, because they did not have that structure in the household while their parents were either working or were not working, didn't have a job. Something was going on where these kids are so far behind that they don't even know basic 3rd and 4th grade education. So, but with y'all ages progressing, I feel like y'all were able to understand what was going on with COVID. People were dying, people were losing jobs, because it might have affected your household. So when you got back into school and you looking at it, you like, oh, wait a minute. You've already been exposed to things. So that's why freshman year, y'all start looking like, hold on, something not right. That's what I'm getting out of this. Freshman year, y'all was like, wait a minute, something going on. Something wrong. And so were you guys all friends in high school, like freshman year?
No. I
Me and her would, but
I didn't know these two until recently. So, and I hadn't become friends with them until recently.
So the BSU, that started your freshman year?
Yes.
Which would have been, what year is that, 2021?
2020, 2021, I think around that time, going into 2021 maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
2020, because it was during the pandemic. It was,
Okay,
so they
you guys
started
went
in
back to
August in
school.
2020.
I did not live here. You guys went back to school in August of 2020, or were you virtual?
They were virtual.
We were virtual, and
until,
then
like half of the year.
Yeah, then we went back
Okay,
in person.
so in 2021, you went back in person, and that's when the stuff started happening in person. When you went back to school.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
To be fair, I think there was stuff happening. Because I remember during that time there was like the whole thing where the Black Lives Matter movement started happening kind of during COVID.
Yes.
So there was stuff happening, but it wasn't within the school. It was online, social media, that kind of thing where things were happening. But even then, like, there's not much that can be, you can't really get your point across on social media all the time because people have the choice to listen, you know? So.
Come on.
I think, as you know, like she said, she didn't really experience much, but because I was looking at this kind of thing and I was having conversations with people, I experienced things during even online school. Just for me.
Yes. Yeah, I like how you said people have a choice to listen. Just like people have a choice to respond and make negative comments. You go out your way to type those things and even make a typo. Or not make a typo. You go out your way. So while you typing, you have something in your mind saying, should I or should I not type this? Should I or should I not say this? And that goes with physical things that people do, such as spray paint your face. And I mean, come on, you have a thought process because you got to go buy, you got to go spray, you got to. Nah, it's just too much. But I like that. I like that you said that because I wanted to know that. You know what I'm saying? And that's important to actually recognize and hear. Man, y'all giving me life already, and we only like just a few minutes within this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sydney, how's it sounding?
It sounded real familiar.
Familiar. Go ahead, Sydney.
Things that stuck out to me is the social media aspect. So if I would have stayed in the Rockwood School District, I would have graduated in 2011. So my math is not great, but I was at LaSalle like from 2006 or 2005, 2007. I think I entered high school and I left the district. And social media, I think we were still like using MySpace then, so it was still fairly new. So I think I didn't receive it as much on like that end of it because it was still new to us, the social media aspect. But just things that I experienced at school, being a Black girl that lived in Eureka, just like anything like the kind of like racism I felt, and I was very aware of it, even from like second grade. I've like been discussing like politics and racism with my family, so I've already been like very aware. Sometimes I hate that I'm so aware of that, like, and just even being able to notice some microaggressions. But just even things like being told like, oh no, you're going to the wrong bus. It's not any way you can live out here in Eureka, or I'd be going to the county buses. I'm not still sure if LaSalle Spring Middle School does that, but they have them separated. Even being questioned, I know a young lady like has a story about a similar situation around it. We were like passionately talking about this, we always do, but being told, how did I have something that was designer or expensive? Like, did I steal it? Like, how did I get it? What does my family do? To having things stolen from me from kids who happen to be white and lived in the county, and me having to prove that they stole my things, you know, and just that burden, to being called like racial slurs and like having to defend myself with it, you know, and like getting a harsher punishment than my white peers. So a lot of what they're saying, unfortunately and sadly, doesn't surprise me. And I feel like even with social media, I think that's even heightened it. Because as I went off to high school and we got on Facebook more, I saw like people who I thought were my friends, I did cheerleading with, like using the N word, and like me being like, what? Like, this is who I was friends with? And just like having that certain factor of like boldness, especially when somebody don't have to like, I think maybe feel like they're in a safe place, or they don't really have to see you and like own it or be accountable for it. I think that people really become bold, like, you know, like bold on social media and feel empowered by that.
That's a big factor right there. They feel like they won't be addressed about it. They're doing it behind closed doors. But I promise you, if they walk outside in these streets somewhere, they're not going to say that. They're going to want to be your friend. They want to be. But here's the crazy part, because Sydney had a purse incident, like she just stated. She had a purse incident where somebody asked about her purse. Mind you, she lived in the Legends, okay? So to people, the Legends is like, oh, you know. Right. But who had the incident with the purse? You had the incident with the purse. But to be clear, those purses are sold all over the country, whether it's real or it's fake. And everybody, nobody's eliminated from this group. Everybody will wear a fake purse to put on the front. It's not black, it's not white, it's not Asian, it's not Hispanic, it's not Latino, it's none of that. It's whoever, go get it and be great in it. Because I'm telling you, I know a bunch that got it and they ain't millionaires, they ain't rich, they ain't black, they ain't just white, they ain't just Asian. So it's so funny how, but until somebody addresses that person that says it and check them, you can respectfully check somebody.
Yeah. One thing I do want to add also in this incident, it was actually a teacher that was questioning me about my item. Like, it wasn't a student. Students said enough horrible things, but it was actually like a faculty member that should have known better that was doing this prying, not a student, which I would have maybe disrespected a little less. I don't know if that's the way to say it, but I might have, like, they're just, ignorant, but it was a full-grown adult asking me this that worked for the district.
Wow. And so, like I say all the time, you never know what the impact you have on the person. But what you say, how you look, or whatever it is, especially if you're in a position of authority. You never know the impact you're going to have on somebody 10 years from right now. This woman, this is literally over 15 years ago. And she remembers that, and she's talking about it right now. So you left a nasty taste in her mouth, and she just spit you out. By letting you know what her degrees and her credentials are, and the fact that she can afford that purse, and she was able to afford that purse back then. And her house was probably bigger than yours. Since you're so worried about those type of things.
She looking like
I'm just saying. Because people are so worried about this title or the house or this.
We're materialistic.
Materialistic things or whatever. But your house ain't even intact. I can have a mansion and somebody in my house commit suicide because they're going through depression or something else. I don't care how much money you got. And I don't give a... How many celebrities are out here going crazy on drugs? But it don't matter how much money you got, what color your skin is. It don't matter, none of that. But it takes people like you to walk in school and say, hey, man, what you talking about? You want attention? I'll give you attention. Somebody say something to you, I'll give you attention. You want everybody to see? Come on, let's talk about it. My person, but last time I checked, your mama came around your stepdaddy, which means she went through a divorce. Woo! How was that?
she learned.
But I'm being serious though, right? This life circumstances hits everybody. Don't worry about my purse. That divorce caused you more problems than this purse causing me. Because you're struggling how to deal with another person in your house. Your parents are separated. You're trying to figure it out. You don't know what to do. You acting out. You drinking and driving. You struggling in sports. Your grades just dropped. I'm here for it. But it's real life. It's not to make fun of nobody. I want people to know that no matter what color your skin is, no matter what school you go to, I don't give a what neighborhood you go through.
Everybody going through something.
Come on.
There you go.
You got to give the people what they want, and the truth is what they need. You got to give it to them. And we going to move forward, man. Woo! Good God. So, I'm going to ask you a question. Yeah, we got to have a good time, though, right?
Right.
You got to have a good time. We smile, but we speak truth.
Amen.
I acknowledge that you said I was ignorant back then. Ignorant means lack of knowledge. Don't mean you stupid, because you tell somebody they're ignorant, they think you call them stupid. Woo! That ain't the case, baby. But you just let me know you were more ignorant by you saying that. I thought you were stupid. But anywho, who am I? I digress. Did you ever run into situations where your friends, parents, I don't know who you're friends with, did you deal with racism from adults, like your friends' parents, or at the school or anything of that nature? Or do you experience racism against others? Do you see it? Have you addressed it? Do you know how to address it? Did you respond? What action did you take? For instance, did you have issues with if Miss Davis, Kaylee Davis here, was your friend? Did her parent ever disrespect you or have racism against you?
I never actually came across like their parents.
Okay,
it's always just them. I don't see them outside of like school.
That's okay, so that's a good question because like Miss Ronika, she's got her best friend. She dealt. Go ahead.
What?
You dealt with your friend's parents.
Oh, who?
Like Katie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but they weren't racist. I thought you were saying.
No. No.
I love them.
How you experienced it. I didn't.
I haven't experienced. Well, I can tell a story because I thought it was funny. But I took it as it was their grandmother. So one of my friends' grandmother was like, "Oh, it's so great you have little N-word friends," but she was like, she had dementia. She had dementia. You know, she had Alzheimer's. So I didn't take it
She was reverting back into the old time.
But, you know, my friends were like, "Oh my gosh," you know, they was trying to reassure me. I'm like, it's fine, because she was older and she had Alzheimer's and dementia and all that stuff. Like, she was really old. So I understood it. But she was saying it, and then she started. But I had friend that I remember, like, you know, the wet nurse child that, you know, that she considered a friend. So, but yes. And, you know, somebody else may have taken that and cursed their friend out. Right. Probably never talked to him again. But I just couldn't, you know, gave that to that she was older, because you don't know what my old grandma gonna say these days, or my grandpa.
My great grandma 92. And
right, you can't tell them nothing.
Angel? Well, who is that? Yeah, she's 92, so, you know.
Yes.
Understood. So, have you seen it done towards your friends, your peers, and you had to address it, or were you afraid to address it? Talk to me. Go ahead.
You want me to? Go ahead. Okay, so I have two situations. The first one, it was never to the extent of hers, and it wasn't the parents, but I remember being at like a Thanksgiving dinner with, it was me, my 3 friends, but we were at one of my friends' Thanksgiving dinner. Her uncles had come over and everything, and it wasn't that big. Like, he didn't call me a slur, none of that, but I don't know. We were sitting at the table, and I was like at the end of the table. I'm pretty sure he's seen me multiple times, and I was sitting there, and he like was pointing to everybody at the table, and he was like, "Yeah, what's your black friend's name?" And it wasn't even like she had introduced me before, and he could name everybody at the table, even the white friend sitting next to me. But when it came to me, he just like, he referred to me as the black friend. Like, didn't take the time to acknowledge me as a person, none of that. And I was like, I kind of felt some type of way about it, not because like I try not to take everything personally, but I just remember like time and time before and after that, every time I knew that I would go to her house and maybe she was having family over, I would be kind of on guard, because it's just like, and then she would kind of openly tell me that some of her family is racist, and then I'd be like, that's not okay, like, you know. And then I remember we went to her lake house, or she has like some lake house or something, and I was in the like river, just in my flow, and her brother was like, "There's a poop in the water," and I'm just like he was like a kid. It was like when we were younger, but I'm just like, you're just saying certain things. Or every time we would go somewhere, like, he would say little things, and I'd just be like, and then I'd tell her, and I'd be like really quiet, and like, it was when we were in like elementary, middle school, but still, like, it was just certain things, and it wasn't like blatant like things, but it was the little things, the microaggressions, that kind of thing. And so eventually you just kind of get fed up with it. So I distanced myself from her for a very long time, until she learned that these are the things that you can and cannot do, and your family can and cannot do when I'm around. I don't know what you guys do without me there, but it's obvious that there's some type of, you know, allowing things to happen.
Starts at home.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, or just little things, like we had a situation where people she was friends with who went to a different school would like call me the M-word and that kind of thing. And she was inviting them to a birthday party and invited me too, and I did not feel comfortable going. And she went and talked to my other friend when I wasn't there, and she was like, "Why won't she just get over it? Like, just come to the party, get over it." And I was like, you don't just get over something like that.
That's right.
So I was just like, I don't know. There was a lot to happen, but I also have seen it to like my other Black peers, and like I said, it's taken me a while to be that person to kind of speak up. But I remember one day we were in class, and it was me and this other girl in class, and we were reading a book, and the N-word was in it, obviously, and we were like popcorn reading, and a kid volunteered to read. And he was white, obviously, and he stopped at the M-word and was like, "Am I allowed to say this?" He just kind of said it out loud, and the teacher, she didn't look at us for approval, that kind of thing. She was just like, "Go ahead and say it." So, of course, he read every passage that had the M-word in it, was proud to say it, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, out of all the things, you know, and she like, I don't know, and there's just been a number of things. Or my friend, she's Muslim too, and like we were reading a book about refugees, that kind of thing, and she had mentioned how her parents were Muslim, and the white teacher every time would like kind of pick on her and be like, "Bring your parents in, have them talk to us," that kind of thing. And she like was like, "I'm not comfortable doing that," and they wouldn't be comfortable doing that. And she like one day said something that made her cry. And I was like, no. So I raised my hand and I was like, I don't think she was comfortable with what you said to her. And the teacher got really defensive. And she was like, well, if she had a problem with this, she should have just talked to me herself. And I was like, she's sitting here crying in your class and that's what you're worried about. But I don't know. There's just been a couple things.
Where was this at? What school was this at?
This was when I was in like 7th grade. This was
Middle school?
LaSalle. Yeah.
That's a problem.
I know.
That's
See,
a problem.
in these instances, I be wanting to know the teacher name because I feel like it could be one of it may be one of your favorite teachers, like someone
who's not there no more, because this, mind you, we've been out of middle school for over 20 years.
I know my aunt been teaching just that long since I was in middle school. She just, don't do me.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. She should have just came in here herself.
Mm-hmm. She did this in front of the whole class too. So it was embarrassing for her.
Oh, well, Sal, you might want to check those teachers because this can't be too long ago.
Right.
This is probably about 5 years ago, and that teacher is still there. So LaSalle Springs Middle School, a little bit of DEI training might be necessary.
Well, they just did it.
Trauma-informed care.
The district added DEI training once they
she said they
canceled their program.
I can name about 3 teachers who need a little bit of training at LaSalle. And I don't even go there anymore. So.
But the thing is, what you just said, and for her to say, well, she should have told me herself, okay. So you missing the whole point of what I just said and why I told you on her behalf.
Right.
Is what you're missing. And guess how old you were at that time? 13, 14, right? 13 years, 12, 13. Again.
Keep having that voice to speak out for those that are not comfortable enough to speak up for themselves.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Even in middle school, adults are just big kids. I want to remind everybody that's listening when you hear this episode, adults are big ass kids. That's what they are. They go through drama, they argue, and they lack empathy if they have not went through something. Yes. They like sympathy because they want to feel sorry. I don't need you to feel sorry for me.
They
I
start
need you
crying.
to empathize with what I got going on. My parents are Muslim and you gonna sit here and tell me, get over it. Or she should have told me, I'm not comfortable telling you because you just put me on blast. So what I feel comfortable with telling you this, but I got somebody that spoke up for me, and then you gonna tell her, okay, I got a trick for you. Okay, well let me move.
Wait, Rhonda, one thing before you move forward.
Come on, baby.
We might get back to this later. One thing you mentioned, like they need more DE&I training. And one thing I know, like about adult learners, I don't remember the exact statistics, but once you get to a certain age, I believe it might even be as young as like 8. You kind of believe and you kind of are how you are. And like those experiences that you dealt with in your lifetime up to that point, like formed like a majority of like who you're going to be and what you're going to believe. So like even as an adult, like with the trainings, I think it's like cute when people like suggest it and say they're doing them. Yeah. But if you don't have people, adult learners who are actually willing to open up their mind, to actually understand a group that they're working with or a certain demographic, whatever the case may be, if you're not willing to look at them from a different view and to see, like if you don't go into that training with that view, D&I training is nothing else but a waste of time on their schedule that they're annoyed about and probably might even resist even more. So I feel like it goes deeper than just like doing trainings, but also like understanding where your teachers' headspaces are, like if they're truly open to that and like just being aware. Because again, D&I training, I do them all day, and the ones I do are a joke, honestly. This is coming from me, so I'm like, we might come back to it later, but I just want to chime in there that I feel like that's not the answer that companies need to run to every time they come up with the issue of racism, sexism, whatever ism there is. Like doing a training on it is not always the answer.
I'm glad I 100% agree with that. I just talked about that today with somebody. I'm like, we have these trainings and it goes with communication. Are you listening to understand? Mm-hmm. Or are you listening because you got to be there and you just got to
respond?
Yep. Are you listening to just respond and say something? Because they have these trainings, and I so agree with you, Sydney, because, again, we're all human. No matter what your position is, somebody might hire you just because you white or you cute. Understand, people that hire people are human beings like everybody else. Right. I have sat in, I have interviewed, I have hired people, I have made sure I have stopped the interview and said, listen, I need you to be comfortable. Relax. I'm human like you. But everybody don't do that. I'm not here to be a hard hat. I'm not here to do none of that. I want you. Because in the field that I'm in, these kids, these youth, they need you. They don't need a script. They don't need any of that.
Right.
You know, when you in the criminal justice system, you have to be open to vulnerability. You have to be able to talk to these people. There's so many traumas and everything that comes with it. There's some who just commit crimes and like, look, I want to learn from the streets and I will keep it like that. Okay? You can't fight with that. You do what you can do. But these trainings, like she said, are 100%. You got to remember, people are human beings. They're going to be lazy. They tired. They get up in the morning. They're like, man, the hell with this training, man. I ain't got time for it. I ain't, you know, it's so much with this. You could say, we're going to do a training for a facade, especially political-wise. We're going to do a training so you can say you did something about it. But you didn't do nothing about these mentalities that people have. Because they're going to walk out your training and be like, yeah, I heard what they said. How many times we walk out of something and be like, man, I heard what they said, but I ain't doing it. So many times. So, Sydney, that was a great point, and thank you for bringing it up.
You know what?
Go ahead,
An observation, because you guys were talking about, you know, being out at friends' houses and how, you know, they called you the black friend or whatever. It's so, the one thing I want to recognize, because it's all females at the table.
Come on.
And there's no guy. Like the black guy, I didn't, you know, dated a few that dated the Caucasian girls or had friends that had friends and they were like, you know, their parents would say to them where you're the good black boy or the good black kid, and their family was openly racist, but they liked that one black boy that, you know, and they kept that person around. So they do that all the time, and it's not just you know, us, the women, but especially with the black boys, because we were literally just talking about how the dating and the black boys don't date the black girls. So the parents be racist, but they accept, you know, the black boy that's the athlete or something. You know, he's popular in school. They still racist though, but they accept.
He's the exception.
Yeah, he's the exception.
Or
So
she.
how many black girls y'all seen date the white guys in Rockwood? Am
didn't
I loud enough for that?
Listen, never. I didn't date a white man until I was 20. I was in my 20s. I was about 22, or I lived in Florida. That's dated a white man.
I ain't never dated one.
Two to be exact.
I mean, I'm open, but
one had a degree from Florida State. The other one is an architect right now. This is back then. So, I mean, I don't discriminate. It's not about that or whatever.
Right.
But it wasn't until later on. I mean, it wasn't a norm back then. I mean, I thought some white boys were cute as heck. You know? And I went to college, and then I had a date a couple, you know.
Yeah, they weren't cute, but, you know, they wouldn't feel it. They don't be on
correct.
Like
like the other ones, right?
Yeah.
Right?
You know?
So, but you know what? I don't discriminate. You know, I love everybody. Everybody be great. We're just living the dream. So, anywho. Now, one thing I want to ask for y'all, because I got some questions or whatever. Were you satisfied? Are you satisfied for you? Because these are some questions that older people got. Are you satisfied with the quality of learning?
I think it depends.
I like that. See, I like that you have to sit and think about that, the quality of learning. No matter the subject or whatever, do you feel like, and I'll start with myself, okay? I'm satisfied with what I learned. But it was that 1 year that I did not attend LaSalle Springs Middle School, that I moved to University City. My mom got a house in University City, and I went to Brittany Woods Middle School with predominantly black kids, right? And that's when I was taught my history. More black history. I was like, wait a minute. I loved it. And I loved being around all those kids. And it was a suburban South Conference at the time. So when I went back to your freshman year, those same friends that I had, we competed against them. U City was in our conference. It's a county school. Central West County. U City is a very good district as far as housing. Like, my house was great. You know what I'm saying? This is, and I'm talking back in 2002, 2001, 2002, 2003. You know what I'm saying? 2004, you know.
20 years ago.
Yeah, I was great. U City was, you know what I'm saying? My friends were great. You know, the neighborhood. To this day, U City's a nice area as far as homes go. You know what I'm saying? So, I was able to learn about my history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so tell me about how y'all feel about those things.
I feel like the learning is okay, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff they were missing out on, like the history, just a lot of other stuff I feel like they were missing out on. But other than that, it's okay.
Okay.
I just feel like I'm missing a lot of stuff that would be good for me.
Crucial for you in society, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Not for you in the books, but in society.
Life. A lot of
Yes, in life. In growth. It brings growth.
Yes.
Because I promise you, if I say, the Little Rock Nine, those kids out there won't know who the hell the Little Rock Nine is.
Do y'all know who it is?
Yes.
I know.
I remember hearing about it, but I don't know enough to say.
Arkansas. Desegregation. Brown versus Board of Education. If I say that out there, a lot of kids won't know what that is. Why are we in this school together right now?
Yeah, I know. We're talking about.
You know, Rudy Bridges. All these things are so important, and no one's being taught them. So these kids are mad that you might be in the same school, or some people might be mad that you're in the same school. But history brought us here.
Or wait, we taught them just doing either during Black History Month, where a lot of schools don't do it anymore. So I remember in Rockwood them saying they weren't gonna do it because you know, it eliminated other people. Yes. So I took AP U.S. History.
Boston Tea Party, all this stuff that I don't give please.
U.S. history is horrible. I don't like history. And my counselor, I told her I didn't like history. And she was like, but you did so well in it. You should be in AP. She forced me forced me into AP, and it was boring. And the one... Me too. The one chapter that was, of course, interesting was the Black History, and they expected me to really be into it, but it still was just the same. I know Dr. Martin Luther King. I know,
like they only teach you
the
bottom
Rosa Parks, but that's why it's good now to know that you being aware now that there are so many other people in African American history, and learn and just continue to educate yourselves outside of school.
And that's what I did. Swear to God, that's what I did. I like to read. I'm reading a book right now about the history of St. Louis, just about how Thomas Jefferson sent Lewis and Clark here to take the Indians' land and everything, and how this city is built on capitalism. But I ain't gonna say nothing.
We part of Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, all of that. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you learn that later on. Once you get interested, you learn so much and things that are going on. You just start to learn it, man.
St. Louis has a lot of history.
It's a big.
I learned about
the U.S. Capitol was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
We had some great activists.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing about it is people don't want to talk about Black history, but when we look at it, a lot of these things that we have are
West County is Black history,
including the yellow light. The yellow light was created by Black men.
Yeah.
Them peanuts people eat.
You said
that comb people using.
I was just saying, like
all
a big part of
terms,
Chesterfield.
Yeah.
All these.
Yeah.
So many things in life are from a Black person, but it's not being taught.
That's because they don't want you to know that we actually are the creators of a lot of things.
A lot of things. Sydney, go ahead. I'm listening.
They want to make it seem like they created everything.
They don't want us to know we had that much power.
Yeah.
There you
go. That's it.
Power. Go, Sydney.
I just got two things that from y'all conversation of what I wanted to add. But I remember being at LaSalle Springs Middle School. I forget his name, but it was like a history teacher. And asked him about Bloody Sunday that happened in Selma. He asked me if I was talking about like a tomato throwing contest in Germany. He had no idea what Bloody Sunday was that happened in Selma when.
But y'all want to cancel programs.
The civil rights movement, marching across I hate the name of the bridge anyway, but marching across the bridge. They had no idea about the East St. Louis riots. Like nothing at all.
Where would I go?
And it was just like disappointing because it made me feel crazy. Like I didn't know what I was talking about, or I wasn't being taught right at home. And then also the second point about like AP courses, when I did transfer because my like grade school went up to the 6th grade, so I came in my 7th grade year. And so like when my mom was looking over the coursework, just even her having to like fight for me to be in AP courses, and also seeing like the disproportionate amount of like Black kids who like, I had a friend that was in a course and I'm like, girl, you don't even need to be in this course, but I feel like they just disproportionately, I don't know how it is today, but how I felt back then, I don't have any data to back it up, but like they just put Black kids in these courses, or like special, I don't know what they actually call, but like basically if you like were at a slower pace or you needed like additional assistance,
Like
and
below.
I'm like, this don't even make sense,
Yeah.
you know? And maybe it's because you're not teaching, you don't want to deal with their behavior, you don't want to actually go deeper down. I know teachers do a lot, but it just seemed like unfair to me. I'm like, ain't no way like this many people need to be in this course, or you know, what are you doing as a district to help that?
Like basic math, like a lot of the African American students were in a lot of the low basic classes. That's what.
Exactly.
We talking about it.
I know I wasn't one of them kids, but I was like, I was always one of the only Black students in all of my classes, and that was since elementary school. So
Go ahead. Come on.
I was just asking her about it. I think it was a situation, I don't remember how long ago it was, but where the parents and everybody was just going crazy about them being, they were asking the school to allow them to teach us about African American history.
Okay.
The
We
critical
still don't
race
have it.
theory and all that.
The
Yeah.
critical race theory. They
Yeah.
were crazy, didn't it?
Yeah.
they saying
They
Black
don't want you to
history
know.
is critical race
Yeah.
theory, and it is not.
But
But-
we can learn about everything else, though, right?
Right.
Right.
We can learn about all that, the wars. We can learn about
George Washington.
George Washington.
We
Thomas
learn-
Jefferson sent them here. I mean, we can
Learn about
Go ahead.
Abraham Lincoln
Bring it.
and how he freed the
it.
slaves, but he
Nobody gonna
really
know that you
didn't.
heard?
He didn't.
He didn't.
Yeah, also
Nope.
whenever they talk about, you know, the people in white history, basically, like Abraham Lincoln, they try to make him seem like this savior and this kind of thing. But what they don't tell us is the bad aspects. Like, he owned slaves himself. And then, like, even all these presidents and all that, where they were like, oh, he did this, this, and that. But you don't talk about the fact that, like, they contributed to the racism that we still have today. Like, you only talk about the good things. Or
Women didn't get to vote till after.
Mhm.
Blacks didn't even get to vote.
Right.
They was on Selma marching.
Well, you know, Mississippi got something going on right now. They reversing back to.
Half of a person.
You ain't seen it?
The
I'm gonna send it
three-fifths
to you.
compromise.
Yeah, silly y'all.
trying
Let's talk about it.
They're trying to reverse our voting rights.
Oh,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
reversing the
I-
voting rights.
Yeah, I heard
And
about that.
yeah, building like
Against
in
who?
Mississippi.
Come on.
And the Black people can't so like in the neighborhood, what they are doing is they voted that white people can I guess take build in this predominantly all Black neighborhood, and the Black residents can't vote against them being able to build in the neighborhood.
Today?
Yes, today.
We're going backwards.
Yeah,
Backwards.
we
going
are
backwards.
like the women's rights,
Yeah.
you know.
Ronika was talking about the Black neighborhoods. It was a Black Wall Street. Like Black people,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
we had banks, we had businesses.
I got a
all
shirt
of
We
that.
had the Ville and the Greater Ville and all of that in
Yeah.
St.
I got a
Louis.
shirt that
and
says
was-
"Bring Back Black Wall Street."
Yeah.
My cousin, his company in Birmingham, he gave some shirts. Bring back Black Wall Street. They burned it.
Burned it. Killed a lot of people.
So that's,
Y'all here today and just make sure that y'all get involved with the organizations that are trying to make a change in the St. Louis community. Everybody want to leave St. Louis, but we don't have to leave, y'all. We could just make it better. I said that softly, but I'm say it louder.
Oh, my bad.
Go.
I didn't really talk about my education,
Go ahead.
whatever. But as far as like the content, yes, it's better than most. Like, you can't go to a city school and get
Right.
the same, you know, education that you get out there. But like she said, like, we're not learning the things that we should learn.
About ourselves.
And they've already gotten rid of most like Black, you know, history classes, and I'm taking like a Black lit class right now. But of course, that's an elective class. So the people who are taking it are either Black or allies of Black people. And I've realized slowly that those are not the people who need to be in that class.
It needs to be those people that's
Exactly. It needs
How
to
do
be
you
the
feel
people-
about them removing the classes and canceling the programs?
Oh, wow. Well, okay. I just recently kind of figured out, like, the classes that are available to us and that kind of thing. So, for me personally, I've learned a lot in my Black Lit class. Like, we've already read, like, 2 books, and it was very, very eye-opening to me. So, it's kind of like, why don't we have more of these things? Like, there needs to be more choices for this kind of thing. And mind you, this is the one class that is there for Black students or, you know, people who want to learn about Black history. But as far as the programs, like WEW being cut, it was horrible for all of us.
What is that?
The Love Project, Women
Okay.
Empowering Women.
Okay.
It was horrible because right after it happened, you could like kind of tell, like whenever we were told the information, everybody like was brought down. We were all like obviously very angry about it. We were sad, we were disappointed, we were like a little like, you know, what's next, that kind of thing. And I don't think people really realize like how much support and that kind of thing that it brought to us.
Impact.
It
Right.
brought a lot of us together.
And it's called Women Empowering Women in the Love Project. So was it just catered to African American women, or was it for everybody?
It was for women. It was just for African American women, but
Okay.
they also had a group for the African American men as well.
Okay.
And then there's other groups within the school that are mostly catered towards the white students, that kind of thing. But I don't think, like, before they cut the group, they didn't ask us how it was, like, if it was working, that kind of thing. And it was working. Like, we had a whole plan to, like, get people together in the school and, like, kind of mentor the younger students so they have somebody and that kind of thing. And then it was just kind of taken away from us. And you can tell, like,
they
if
consult with you or anything, they just shut it down.
Yeah.
As if we just sitting here and we got a group and somebody said, the Angels Online shut down, and you're like, wait, that was we was able to talk about. Okay.
Rhonda probably don't remember this. I was just telling my coworkers this the other day. Remember we had the step team? Were you on the step team with us? It was me, Sable. It was a lot of us. Okay, so there was a step team. We did this the talent show. They still have the talent show out there.
Yeah, they had a team in middle school.
and we-
They got one now.
We was in the step show. So, you know, they already had a dance team, and we had started the step team, and the coach didn't like that. So they said that they canceled the step team. They eliminated it because the dance, and they said if you want to dance, you have to trial for the dance team, not on stage. On stage was the choir, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
On stage was the dance.
Yeah,
The
they
dance
told us
and
we
show
had to
choir.
trial for the dance team. It didn't have any black people on the dance team, but a few of us tried out, and it was me, Cynthia. Cynthia was actually a trained dancer. She was professional. She could dance. I wouldn't have trained dancer, but I could do some things. And Cynthia wasn't, you know, on stage. They weren't smaller. They were smaller, petite Caucasian girls. Wore all the makeup, red lipstick. To this day, they all look the same, I'm sure. And Cynthia was a bigger girl, but she could do everything, pirouettes and everything. We tried out. I was just like, okay, she's gonna make it. I know she's gonna make it. When she called everybody's name, she ain't make it. And I was like, they told us, oh, we'll, you know, you guys, we're gonna eliminate the step team, but you guys can try out for the dance team. We're gonna get everybody equal chance. It wasn't equal.
But I see
It was not equal at all.
I see that right now just happen, even with a simple activity. I just saw it right now. Like they didn't allow certain kids. You have to meet criteria. You got D or F or whatever. You know, you can't do the after school activities. But then,
Well, you know,
somebody else was like, oh, well, they're one of ours, so we gonna let them. But wait, they got D or F, but they one of ours. We know that they trying. They need extra. But wait, you got a criteria that you set. So again, it's like people that hire people for jobs. If you're the one that making that decision, you have the say so. And people forget about those things. You just set a criteria, and now you just eliminate who you want to eliminate. You accepting who you want to accept.
Yeah.
You set a criteria, but you hire who you want to hire, even though Ronika's more qualified than Sarah over there. Welcome to life. That's happening.
Yeah.
Every day, all day in this field. And if somebody was here, Katie was able to be here. She's on part 1 and 2. She'll tell you it's happening. She's watched it happen because that's her job in the human resources. It's happening. You could be more qualified than Mackenzie over here, but because she's a Muslim or because she's this and this and this, because she's white, whatever it is, you're going to get the job. Because whoever that is interviewing, remember, we are all human in life. And we all have our own perceptions and our own beliefs and our own political views. We all have our own things. And remember, a lot of people take things personally. You see people in professional businesses, when all this stuff happening with these incidents, riots, and all these things, George Floyd, when all this stuff happening, you see people come out with their true colors. And they demonstrate these behaviors. They work for big corporations.
Yeah, it happened here. Mike Brown.
And
That was the first thing.
And these are the same people determining determining your future and your well-being in your household.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening every day, all day.
Yeah.
So, but we can't fight everybody, right?
No.
So you
But
gotta
I'ma
continue
try.
to speak up. Right. You gotta continue to speak up, talk your ish, and stand for what you believe in, because somebody's gonna hear you, just like we heard you.
Yes.
Just like we all heard you when we saw that article and my
Mhm.
phone was blowing up. Ronika sent me the oh, well, we gotta get them little girls in and say whatever you say, what you want to say. We gonna respect the people, but they gonna respect the voice.
Right.
These are my feelings. Y'all took this program from us without consulting with us at anything. You didn't even ask how it was, how it was going. You didn't do a survey. You didn't do
Right.
nothing.
They
That's
just
what a lot
saw
of people
that
do.
it was
They
a
do
program
survey 'cause they wanna see
catered to
numbers.
black
They
students,
want to see numbers.
and they eliminated it.
Exactly.
That's all. That's what y'all did. Y'all saw that it was a program catered to
That's
black
what people did. And it
students,
said,
and
in
you
the
canceled
article, matter of fact, I'm sorry because I read it.
They canceled
and
it 4-3. It was close.
It was
4-3.
4-3. But specifically, and then, you know, they said, shout out to, I ain't gonna say his name, but shout out to him. He voted for it, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
He was one of ours, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Voted 4-3 or whatever. But, Emic, whoever Emic is, IMIG, I don't know how to say it, whatever. I quote, I don't make anything up. It says, I do not feel like they serve all of our students. Which gives me an opportunity to say, if you feel like it don't serve all your students, look at the rest of the things that you got going on.
Yes. What?
Does it serve all of your students? What you're looking at is you looking at the majority. And you eliminate the minority.
Yes.
Not
It
meant to
don't
serve all
you're,
your
you're,
students.
you're forgetting
Yes.
and you're losing sight of the purpose of the program.
Yeah. So
Because
the
you're
black
listening to
kids,
parents and everybody else that got the ear in.
and not even they just doing what they want to do. But a lot of black kids out there are losing their identities, especially
Oh my God.
Yes.
Sydney. You know her living out there. She couldn't attest to it. Like I attended church out in Chesterfield with a lot of the black students, kids out there, and they lose their identity being out there with the white people, and then we canceling these programs that are helping you and encouraging you to, embrace your identity and embrace your uniqueness as black girls and
Everybody's great, man, in their own personal way.
Yeah.
I don't care what color your skin is. Again, life hits you in every way.
It
But
does.
you gotta expose yourself to all those things.
Yes.
You know, when you said people lose
But we
their
all
identity,
have
don't
different
forget who you
experiences.
are.
Even with
It's
your
different.
race, like your color is gonna give you a different experience. Y'all can keep saying be human
Correct.
all you want
No,
to.
you can, exactly,
But
because
the
we already,
yes.
especially blacks, we already on the back end.
Yes.
Because people are still, to this day, like we talking about, are resistant to change.
Yep.
They're resistant to acknowledging what's really out here.
Right.
They're resistant to acknowledging the people that are in front of them.
Mhm.
But hey, last time I checked, we ain't the only ones that wear weave.
Right.
We ain't the only ones that wear
Definitely
fake
not.
purses.
Fake nails.
We're not the only ones.
Well, they used to get before we started getting the different surgeries that are out.
We ain't the
White girls love them surgeries.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm
Before
saying.
we could,
Because if you wanna divide everybody and talk about this and that and the other, in reality, y'all should really look at it as we all do the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you feel like it's okay for you to do it, or it's wrong for them to do it, or it's wrong for you to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's blacks who are racist as hell too. And it's just everybody is everybody. But
Well.
the thing is,
Are you sure blacks are racist? What they?
No, hey, hold on. You got some just the same way. We don't have no leverage here. We got some that
black
are just, who just don't like who are the same way.
You can't be racist though.
And that's what people say, right? Say it.
By
You know?
definition,
You know what I'm saying? And people say that, so we got to talk about it. Oh, blacks can't be. Why not?
I mean,
Why? You know what I'm saying? The question is, why not? Because we got some hateful people out here. We got some. You know what I'm saying? And if you see it, you see it. And see,
but
that's
what's
why
the
they ain't gonna lie,
definition
it's
of
personal
racism?
For blacks or
Just the definition, period. So based
how
on
we
the
wanna look at it?
Like the
definition,
textbook
Based on the
definition.
yeah,
Like you want to Google the definition?
yeah, I know what it says, but by definition,
But the definition don't mean that racism. The word racism is racism. It don't say nothing that say whites don't like blacks or whites this and this and this.
but what does it
Blacks
say?
can be. I'm about to pull it up. I want to be exact. I want to be exact.
about to Google it.
I like to be exact because we know what racism is. We know what discrimination is against a certain group of people. We know what that is. But do you honestly feel? This is my question to you. Do you honestly feel that blacks cannot be racist?
So I have the definition.
No. Wait. I just have Sydney. Do you feel, Sydney?
So
it's a yes or no question. Wait. Pause.
oh,
Sydney, do you feel blacks can be racist?
No, and you told me yes or no, but I'm about to elaborate just a little bit.
That's what I want to hear.
So to be one, I will say yes and no. So like a black person say they don't like a white person, but I will say that a black person, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter. You want to know why? Because most black people, and I can pull up some stats here. I gotta get my Google on. But most black people cannot oppress you, stop you from getting a job.
there you go.
They cannot pass legislation that's
Correct.
going to oppress you.
Correct.
They cannot build a school system that's going to solely on its own where you're not allowed to further your education.
It ain't LeBron
They cannot
James.
build a system of racism. So yes, a black person can technically be racist.
That's what I'm
But
looking
if
at.
I go outside right now,
Come on.
even in my own success, which I'm going to claim, if I think I hate all white people, I still work within an org, and that's not the case. In cases get published anywhere, that is not the case. This is a hypothetical.
Right.
If I were to say that, or any black person, most black people were to say that, it's still not going to oppress a whole entire race. So that's why I think a person can be racist, but it really, what is it going to affect? Nothing.
Perfect. So that's the difference, right?
Right.
We're not inferior or superior. That is the definition.
Those are the words that you're looking for.
That's the definition, though. But
no.
they've elaborated. They've expanded the definition. But the initial definition
you can expand,
was.
You can do all that.
I
Anybody
know.
can be racist. But if you go deeper, like she said, we can't oppress. We don't make those rules on the house floor. That's the difference. And then, like what you just said, that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can be racist. Like I'm saying, anybody can be racist, but it's the effect. What she just said, it was the effect that one would have.
And just so I did my quick Google search into, I'm sorry, I don't know who that was speaking because it's real small on my phone, but like the keywords that she said, like, especially like if they distinguish them as inferior or superior, that's when racism
That's why
really
they say
exists.
blacks can't be racist because we are not the... We're not the majority. We're the minority. That's why the people say.
So that goes what that's how she explaining it. And so for anybody that's listening, don't say that. We ain't saying all blacks. No, we going off the definition. She was explaining the definition about girl, what's the word you just said? Inferiority.
Inferior.
Yeah. One more caveat.
Come on, baby.
Also,
Come on.
even with growing as the minority, or if white people feel like they're shrinking as the minority and they won't be the minority by whatever year
Majority.
that is, even then it's going to take years and a lot of work to get people who are in political power, people who do have the power. So even as we grow, or people of color grow, and they might outgrow people who are white, it still doesn't mean that racism goes away automatically because they've been filling these spaces, hand them down to their family members, friends, and all the political connections.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that all of a sudden, because we're the majority, that all of a sudden racism doesn't exist when the system still stands there that oppresses people of color.
And there are still, just because that the white may not be the majority anymore, the people of color, mixed up, Hispanic, Asian, Black. You have to remember there are still other races and ethnicities that agree with white superiority, that agree with that are
and they black,
conservatives, and they believe, that they don't believe in affirmative action. They don't believe in the civil rights and so they still are against the things that we are for. So even though the whites may end up being the minority, they still have will have the majority of thinking, like people thinking like they think.
Yeah.
And that's when they teach, when people come over to the United States, they literally are teaching them that white is right. Y'all know how that is. White is right. And a lot of brown people believe that. when they are coming over. Like, I have so many friends that are diverse from different countries, different ethnicities, races, and they say that they are taught that black people are like lazy, or black people, we're not, that we shouldn't be the ones that they talk to, do business with, any of that, because I get it.
I understand. I love it. I love this dialogue. And we ain't talking about white people. We talking about what we listening to, what we see in real life, what y'all seeing on TV.
Right.
Everybody talking
Stop watching TV. Stop just talking to people in your bubble, and expand.
These conversations are crucial.
Yes.
Well, nobody's disrespecting anyone. These conversations are crucial to have, to understand, and it builds more trust, respect, more rapport. It builds those things, man. It's positive conversation. This is a good conversation. I love everything about it. I'm going to switch gears to mental health real quick, because you guys had the Love Project.
Yes.
And you said how much it brought to you all and what it did for you. So back then we had, we were in IQ Success, me and Ronika. It was cool. We had African American. What was another group that we had?
Sky's the limit, right? Did we have
No, it was African American. I forgot what it was called, but it was great. We went to the National Civil Rights Museum my freshman year. I remember that. It was great. We didn't have so much division, and no, there was no social media. No, there was none of that. No, Uncle Obama wasn't president or whatever. We had Bill Clinton, and we was the Bush time. You know what I'm saying?
And we thought Bill Clinton was the first black president, basically.
So I mean, so we didn't have what's going on right now. We didn't have all of that, and y'all was not thought of. But I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna scribble because it feel like we showing our age. But what issues did going to a school outside your neighborhoods? What issues did going outside of your neighborhood cause you emotionally?
Emotionally, for a long time out there in Rockwood, I felt alone because I didn't talk to many people out there. I didn't feel accepted a lot out there. So I would just be alone until I got like them or whatever. It's always been.
Because y'all went to the same elementary, middle, and high school.
I went to Gaggy.
She went to Gaggy. We both went to
You
Gaggy.
guys were different. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I felt alone a lot, and it's always been just like us too. And
So y'all been friends since elementary school? Keep that. It's a blessing. I got so many friends that I've had since elementary school, right? That I swear they can talk to you right now that I'm still friends with, rocking with. Anthony was on part 1 and part 2. Known him since I was in kindergarten. He class of 02, I'm class of 05. I know that man since I was 6 years old, 5
She's
years old.
always had this personality.
I mean, I feel like that's amazing because those same friends are the same ones I can text right now, and the conversations like it was when we was 10. So keep that. I just want to commend you for that. Go ahead.
So, yeah, like I said, I always felt alone. And then just going to school out there when, like, certain situations would happen or stuff would happen when I'm, like, genuinely trying out there. Like, stuff would happen, I would just feel so discouraged and just down. And I just wouldn't want to do stuff anymore. Or just, I just wouldn't want to be around anybody. Just so lonely out there. So I hated out there for a long time. And I still do. But now when I go to school, it's like I have something to look forward to because I have, like, them now. So it's a little bit exciting only because of them. But other than that, when I'm in classes that I don't have, like I have no classes with them, I'm alone. I don't talk. Like when the WEW situation first happened, I talked.
WEW, can you help me out?
WW Women Empowerment. WW Women Empowerment thing. When that first happened, I talked to the ladies. A teacher was like, I never even heard you talk. Because I don't talk to anybody out there. Or like when I did the speech at the board meeting, they were like, I didn't know you could talk like that. Or I didn't know you talked for real. And I was like, because when I'm in my class by myself, I'm just to myself. And my teacher's like, I always see you with your headphones in I have my iPad because in class I just play my iPad and I do my work. And I leave and I call it a day. So it's like, I be lonely out there a lot unless I'm with them. If I'm not with them, I'm quiet. By myself, I'm quiet. That's it.
You tight. I'm the total opposite. I'm walking in class. Good people.
We know.
Look here. I'm walking. Hey, man, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
People need to know how you feel, man. Like, talk to me, man.
For me personally,
Kalia.
yes.
Say something.
She got it right.
You see, I'm making sure I got your name right. You see, I did?
Yeah. The things like the racial things I've experienced, that kind of thing that have happened to me, have very much taken a toll on my mental health. Freshman year, the things that I talked about that happened to me, I think is when I kind of realized that I had mental health problems, because that's when it just started to worsen. And I would literally sit there, break down every day. I would have mental breakdowns at school. I had to be picked up early every day. And it was affecting not just me, but, like, my family, that kind of thing. That was the first time my mom had seen me, like this is, like, real. Like, it wasn't just, like, oh, a get over it type of situation. They said something bad, whatever. But it was, like, so, like, consistent with the racism that it was too much on me. And I was still kind of that, like, weak, like, don't speak up kind of person, and when things would happen, I kept it to myself. And so I developed, like, a lot of depression, anxiety, that kind of thing, and I still, suffer with it today. Like, I'm very open about mental health, and I think that people need these kind of, like, resources and should be able to talk about the things that they go through in order to help their mental health, because I'm a person who was not able to do that, or I just couldn't do that at the time. And, like, even now, when my brothers will come home and they'll say something to me, I make sure that they know that, like, if they don't have anyone, they have me. And, like, when these things happen, they shouldn't have to keep it to themselves or be scared to speak out or that kind of thing, because from my personal experience, it'll only continue to make it worse for yourself. So when I've talked about this at the board meeting and all that, when my little brother, who's in 3rd grade, came home and told me that he had his first racial experience and he started breaking down and crying, I made sure that he knew, like, not only is this not, like, it's going to happen over and over again, you can't stop that, but there's ways to handle it in a way that won't continue to break down your mental health. And so, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to cry. Girl,
you speaking to, you got to give people what they want. Good people. I'm listening. I'm so engaged just hearing this. And you're how old?
I'm 17.
All y'all 17?
We're 17. She's 16.
16? Come on. I want to hear you talk about it. And you protecting your siblings because you went through it.
Yeah.
And adults, our job right here, Sydney, Ronika, Kay, myself, our job right now is to give you the motivation and influence you, inspire you. You right now are giving it to your brother. Mm-hmm. So when he get your age, he already know what to do.
Right.
My sister went through this, man. I already know what it is. And guess what? I know how to handle it. This is what you're not going to do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Come on, talk to me.
Well, in middle school, I always, like, felt like an outcast because, like, there was barely any of us. So, like, the small friend group we did have with, like, the other black people in the school, we clung to it. Like, we hung out it like it was just us. But in, like, high school, I don't know, it kind of, like, got different and changed. It's like, not all the black people talk to each other. There was the different friend groups, like, things like that.
We're so divided.
Yeah, it's, like, really divided, actually. And I think, like, the WEW contributed to, like, how close we were with each other. And them taking that away, like, definitely divided it way more.
Y'all.
Yes, it definitely did. And that's just, like...
Yeah, I hear that. Y'all divided these babies by taking the program away.
Yeah.
WEW was definitely something we needed. Definitely.
They need to get that back. Yeah. Y'all got to get women empowering women. Y'all got to get that back. Because, I mean, oh my goodness.
See, what they looking at, like, what they say that...
it doesn't cater to all students.
Yeah, it doesn't cater to all students, but not all the students are the same, so they're not taking into the fact, like, I don't know where y'all live at in the city, but a lot of us, so, like, in Eureka, they redistricted it multiple times, but when we was growing up, they called the one side the dark side, and,
those are the same neighborhoods.
but they call them now Tower Grove, South Tower Grove, North, I don't know nothing about South.
But the dark side, those are our city people who know the dub.
Yeah.
Over here, the Blue Myers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they not thinking, them parents, but they can't think about it because they don't know nothing about it. About the environments that we coming from to go out in Eureka to the environment is totally different.
Listen to season 1, episode 1, Anthony Perry, when he talked about being from Newstead over there.
Yeah.
It take a lot just to get on the school bus.
So, yeah.
And listen to part 1 when we talk about getting on a school bus and we all
Sleep.
we all going through the same thing because we all coming from the city and we getting up at 4:35 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Nobody understand what to go. You talking about so we don't cater to everybody, but everybody not going through this.
Yeah.
Everybody don't want to be on yearbook committee. Everybody want to get on it, and everybody can't join on stage because y'all looking for certain criteria. But if you got a hip hop dance team, I bet you we all make it.
They was jealous because a lot of people started to like the hip hop dance team. That was.
But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is when you say don't cater to everybody, you're not being empathetic to what's really going.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like the environment in the city for some of us, it was, I grew up on first in North Market before I attended Rockwood. If you know anything about North Market, we used to have to dodge bullets on the way home. You know what I'm saying? And literally they was having drive-bys they know the kids out of school, the kids walking home. So now we running and hiding, and it really wasn't no buildings over there to hide. So we literally on a huge lot just trying to find where to hide at. But see, this is stuff that we have to, it's
go to school and be like, well, last night.
Yeah. But y'all had this program that, that's helping with your mental health in more ways than one, and they don't know and not aware and not thinking about, how this will affect the students. They just thinking about how this program isn't for their children, but also, a lot of the parents out there, as opposed to the city parents, may be able to afford to put their kids in therapy or different programs. Yeah.
Because look at these kids how they acting. Committing suicide, car accidents and everything else. Yeah. Blindsided with money.
Yeah.
Or this facade. Everybody got a car and everybody got this and everybody got that. Y'all going to high school parties, y'all doing this, y'all doing that. This is what y'all doing in the city, they not doing that.
Yes. And this was basically their form of therapy. And they took it away.
And see, exactly. And I have a problem I have a big problem with them taking that program away and saying that, well, it doesn't fit everybody. Now that the program is taken away,
what are you gonna do?
Who's catering to y'all needs?
Yeah, I got a couple of things to add. Just wrapping up.
Come on, Sydney.
So one thing, just with y'all speaking about them taking the program away, that crossed my mind is I remember at LaSalle Springs Middle School, that stairway that was closest to the freaking cafeteria. I'll never met a guy named Joe Hitler. Yes, Hitler. We had a debate, and he was racist in my opinion. And rest in peace, Joe, but whatever. He was saying he's tired of the black kids taking all of their taxpayer dollars for all of whatever the DSEC program is doing. From what my knowledge is, the DSEC program is funded not by their taxpayer dollars, but by an agreement. I really don't understand it fully, but I know it's not by Eureka parents' dollars. So I'm also wondering,
they getting our money.
If there's anyone that sees this who understands how the program is funded. I know it's not from taxpayer dollars.
No, it's not.
But they're being paid. They're being compensated for that. They're not just taking that on this is a charity project. They're making money from that.
How do you think Eureka looks so nice? They using that DSEG money to build on the Eureka. When we went there, I was like, where did this come from? And whose school is this?
We got money now.
And that money comes from DSEG.
So, and they've been profiting off of that. So that's one issue. And if one takeaway, and even something that I'm gonna do when I do have time is I've been trying to Google to figure it out, but there's no clear answer. Is to figure that out and how they even have the right to take away programs, or if people have a voice in saying what programs are taken away if they are part of the DSEC program, since it's being funded and they're taking that funded money. Another thing that I just want to say to the ladies, mental health is real, very, very real. Take care of your mental health. Please vent, build a community. I know they took away a program that means so much and that is hurting y'all, but if any time you can to organize, even if it's a safe place. I know social media is big, but even a Facebook group where y'all can still connect. If y'all can meet up on the weekends after school, whenever you can do it, I think it's very much so important as a woman, a Black woman. Even now, in corporate, I have to build those spaces for myself sometimes to stay sane, because if you don't, sometimes there are programs out there, but if you don't, I'm not going to say you can go insane, but it's very beneficial. So I will say, even though the school district is wrong and it shouldn't be a responsibility, this is my unsolicited maybe opinion/advice to still try to keep a group of women together, so that, or women and men, whoever you want to bring in, to keep y'all together so you have that safe space to still talk to each other and have that outlet, because it's not easy. And I know that from being in that school district for 2 years, even like going to PWIs through college and even through corporate. So try to keep that space and make sure you organize, because it will help your mental health in addition to whatever else you might need. And then what was the last thing that I was gonna say is not, I've just always had a mouth on me, which is not good, so don't be like me. But also feel the need to like speak up or even practice speaking up. I know that it's a lot of pressure, especially in the only Black person or person of color in the room. But I like to just question people, and this is like question people with logical questions. You say something that don't make sense to me, question them, and like feel free to challenge them respectfully. Come on. Don't get suspended, punished, kicked out, detention, or anything else. But just ask them like, hey, why ask people for logic and they can't answer most of the time, and you didn't do nothing wrong, but it gets them to thinking. So don't feel in a place, I know now in high school is kind of shaky, but always just maybe think of ways where you can speak up, question people about their logic. You know, anytime you can, I want to empower y'all to do that. I know it's not easy, but those are just kind of like some things that I heard y'all say that I want to speak on. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now.
Oh, you're fine.
That's true. Because we're going to wrap up here. But I want to, it's just a couple more questions. Adversely to the last question, because the last question I asked was how I deal with you emotionally or whatever. But I think this answer's already been questioned by sitting here with you. Adversely to the last question, were you able to form meaningful relationships with students at school due to being from different areas with the kids from the same area?
What do you mean, just like on a normal basis?
Due to being from different areas or with the kids from the same area. Your relationships. Being out there in the DSEG, were you able to form meaningful relationships?
With kids,
that look like, whether they from the north side, south side, or from out in the DSEG. Were you able to form some relationships? Because it looked like y'all got a relationship right here. Yeah. It was that beneficial, and then you got somebody to advocate with you right now.
Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight.
Correct.
I've been going out there since kindergarten, and this is my first time really having Black friends, you know? And I've had friends who are Black, but like you said, I feel like they weren't comfortable in their Blackness, so they, very much so.
They were misguided.
So it just wasn't a beneficial friend to me. But now, like, when I had the group and I was introduced to them, and we don't even have classes together, so it's a little hard to form, relationships with people.
You just get the hallway and lunch, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But, like, now having it, like, these two and other girls within the group and whatever have become like my best friends. And even though I grew up with mostly having like white friends because that's just all I've known, even if they are like the ally kind of person, they'll never really understand what you're going through. And these are the people who go through the same things as me on a daily basis. So like if I have something going on, it took me a while to realize like, oh, she just experienced the same thing 2 doors over from me. Like, we can talk about this. I can have an outlet. I can speak about this kind of thing, and I don't have to continue to keep it in. Right. So, yes, it is, but it also, there's a lot of division within the school. So these relationships have to happen personally. You have to be the one to initiate it because it's not given to you at all. So
basically, y'all didn't even know or see each other until the program happened?
Well, we did see each other and, like...
But we were not,
yeah. But in this... It's probably a handful of Black students out of Eureka, and the fact that y'all didn't know each other until the program is crazy.
That's important. So does all the difficulty you face getting your program and everything going, do you regret being in Rockwood School District? Do you regret being in a district?
Absolutely not. Okay. The experience is, it happens everywhere you are, and it might be worse in some places. But I think what it took for me to realize was that I'm not doing it for me anymore. Like, I feel like at this point, I'm halfway. I mean, I'm basically done. Next year, I graduate, and keep it coming. Throw it at me. I can take whatever it is. But what I'm not gonna let you do is have it affect like generations coming in.
Come on.
Like, it's not just about me. It's about my brothers and their brothers, their siblings, future Black students who are coming in.
I see a community activist right in you. That's what I see.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a little. For me personally, I just feel like I don't care about how it affects me anymore. It's about everybody else now.
Amen.
And
So,
my bad.
no, go ahead.
And I feel like going to school out there, first of all, I've learned so much and I've came so far. Me as a person and just in general. So I feel like if I'm going to be going to school out here, I'm going to be dealing with this. This is what I am. So it's like if I'm going to be doing this, we gotta do something.
Come on.
You know, like I'm not finna sit here and deal with this and not have my name said on nothing, me not speaking my voice. Something, it's gonna move. It's gonna move.
Welcome to
The
the
movement.
Voice of the unheard. You got to get the people what they want. My goodness. Do you guys have any college plans?
I was gonna
Anything?
ask that earlier.
What are y'all looking at for the future? Like, do you guys have any plans?
HBCUs?
Working on it?
There you go.
PWIs?
There you
What
go.
are you
No
what are you
PWI.
looking
No,
at?
I'm just playing.
I mean,
I'm just playing.
it
But
depends. I mean, I went to PWI and I'm right here with. Look here. Where do you want to go to school? What do you feel comfortable with? Like, what is it?
I'm just focusing on what's best for me, whether it's a HBCU or a PWI. Like, what's best for me in my future. I'm not really.
Do you have Do you have like something you want to study? I mean,
probably like anesthesiology, something along those.
you gonna make some money? Let me $2 when you
Doctor.
The BSU and stuff has toured a few HBCUs. I've toured colleges myself, and I very much want to go to college, get an education, that kind of thing. But it's a personal choice, and I'm not completely set in stone on something because I've been taking like the medical classes that they offer at the school, so maybe something in the medical field. But I've also become like I've been like maybe like psychology, psychiatrist, that kind of thing, because I'm really interested in like the medical, like mental aspect of it, because it's just something that I'm kind of passionate about. But obviously I want to make money because I want to support and
you gonna give me
that
$2
kind of thing.
too, so that's $4.
I'm not sure about college, but I do know for sure that I do want to either be a pediatrician or be in like the dental field.
okay.
Oh, so it's okay.
So all three
that means you still want to go to college. So
Yeah.
So that's $2. All right,
Right
2,
there.
4, 6. Y'all know gas is 301. 2 gallons of gas, maybe 50 miles. Give me So look, ladies and gentlemen, we gonna wrap it up. We done had these women here today. We gonna go around the table. Say your name. We gonna start with you over here. Kay was just a guest today, and she enjoyed listening.
I did.
Talk to these girls. Tell your name. Go ahead. I ain't gonna say it for you.
Can I say one thing though?
Of course.
So I just want to say that you girls are very, very brave. I wish that at your young age I was the type of person that could speak up like you did, because I'm just now learning it in my old age to speak up for myself. So always keep that in you. So speak up for what you believe in. Speak up to be heard. All of that. So I really commend you girls for that.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Who's behind her? Go ahead, baby.
I'm
Anaya.
I know that's Anaya. And go ahead, cause I got your name. I got your name down pat.
I'm Kalia.
I know. Go ahead. And
I'm Mackenzie.
Go ahead. You know with your red glasses. She wore red glasses like she knew I was gonna wear red glasses.
That is your color.
It is. But you know what's
Ronika, y'all.
all right,
Deuces.
Sydney is not on here right now. She probably gonna pop back in and do something. So we probably gonna be gone. So what we do for everyone, let me say it one more time. I appreciate y'all for coming out here. I appreciate you for talking.
Yes.
And I'll probably invite you again just for another episode, depending on the topic that's going on. I want you to be able to have that comfortability with speaking out loud, because when you get to college, I want you to be confident enough when you walk in them doors to be able to speak and know you have the experience to speak, and ain't nothing gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Don't bite your tongue. You can respectfully check somebody by just giving information, knowledge, and facts, whatever it is that needs to be given. And, you got to realize that you are powerful.
Amen.
You are powerful in your voice. When y'all walk into Eureka High School, y'all don't understand how powerful you are. But none of us knew who you were. But you're sitting in here with us. And it's more than us, but people got busy schedules or whatever. They all professionals or whatever. We all older or whatever, doing things and whatnot. So, but understand, when you walk into school, you walk into that classroom, and you sit down with your head held high. And so somebody asks you about your person, man, what about you? Then look at them just like that. When you get that information right back to them, when you get that energy right back to them, I bet you they sit down. You want attention, I'm going to give you attention. Because when you start speaking, you probably got more knowledge and more vocab than they do. I'm giving them what color your skin is. I promise you that. You got to be
And if
ready.
they ever ask you, you know, how do you feel about the programs being eliminated, speak your truth. I don't know about y'all, but we had parents we had a great group of parents when we were in the school that were activists for, like, they fought for us to be able to do a lot of things.
And I believe y'all got a whole different set of teachers that are there, because a lot of teachers that we had, some are still there. You know what I'm saying? Miss Highfield, Miss Hines, she not Hines no more. You know, Miss Mueller, you know, Toomer, you know what I'm saying? Miss Martin, Stevens, all these teachers, Miss Kennedy. You know, we had all these teachers. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Hoffman was my boy, still my boy to this day. Matt Hoffman, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so many. You know what I'm saying? Miss Smith and the Grimshaw and our
counselors.
people, the counselor, Miss Kearney, you know, a lot of the counselors, some of the principals, Miss Thomas still out there, you know. I mean, you know, but times are different now. You know what I'm saying? We have Miss Baker out there, you know, all these different teachers that we had out there. I had my coaches, you know what I'm saying? And Grimshaws are a big deal, a part of my life.
Yes.
You know, a big part of my life. From kindergarten on up to till now, just had dinner with them or whatever at the residence too. The big impact on my life or whatever. So it's good people, Coach Lamas. I mean, it's just good people out there, and I don't want people to get this image that it's just trash.
It's not trash,
high school teachers
right?
Trash. You know, it's just that certain batch because a lot of us that spoke on here, we spoke good things. Yeah, it occurred, but you know what? The negativity was a minority back then. Yeah. There's no way we dealt with that type of stuff. I wish you would.
There are positive things.
A lot of positive things came out of it, man.
But we're not going to let that outweigh and outshine the negative things we do need to be able to speak about and let y'all know how we feel.
Yeah. Because time has progressed. Things have came. And so as technology and everything progressed, we seem to be going backwards with some things. Lord. But I don't want that to put that negative image on all these people who have done so much good also, just like anybody else in society who live down the street or next door to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what I would, and that's what I want to say. You know, shout out to Sydney for she left. She didn't like it out there. She left and she got a degree. So one thing that you understand is black women, we all black women sitting right here. Shout out to all the black women because all of us got our degrees. No matter what school we went to, that school does not determine who you are.
Amen.
You determine who you are. You determine your outcome in life. It is you. Not that education, not those teachers, nobody. You do not have to become a negative product of your circumstances.
Amen.
You dealt with all this, but you use it as a testimony.
Amen.
We're able to speak to you and from a testimony point of view because we've been there already and look at us now. So my thing to you is my job is to motivate, influence, and inspire. So when you walk into those doors, don't miss school. You walk into those doors with your head held high. You speak your piece, you do your work, and you handle business. And when you walk across that stage, put your hand up in the air and let them know, no matter what y'all threw at me, I ran with it. And you go to the next phase of life, and you be able to help the next person like you helping your siblings. You understand? I want you to be great. I want you to do what you need to do. Handle business, respect your peers, respect your family. Don't disrespect nobody. You can respectfully check somebody. Remember that, though. Don't bow down to nobody, baby, because y'all got some voices, and they're powerful. And you're sitting here with a lot of women who are really acknowledging your voice. And there's a lot of people that's going to hear this, that's going to acknowledge your voice. You have been heard. Welcome to the Angels Online.
Amen.
Everybody got to give me a good people before you depart. We're going to start with Sydney. Sydney, give us a good people.
Good people.
Woo!
Hey.
My God. Ronnie,
Good people.
roll with it.
Good people.
Good people.
Good people.
Good people.
I know that's
Straight
right.
to bam.
Good people.
And you know what I'm ending with, ladies and gentlemen. Good people.